Boom! Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. The Drip King is back with the Raw recap. And what a show we got tonight. Give me 1 second and I will get to the show. Finishing up these duties right here. If in the chat, I see a few people with heads in the chat. Let me know what you thought about the show so far. Let me hear what you got to say. Because the Hurt Business is back, baby. Hurt Business is back, baby. So, looking good, babe. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You as well. Good evening, David. Thank you for joining, bud. Thank you for joining. So tonight, first of all, thank you for tuning in, everybody. I know I've been gone. I miss y'all. Hope y'all miss me just as much. But to the show we go, because Raw next week is going to be huge. It's the Raw 30. So it was like, and with the last Monday night football game of the year, I was really expecting them not to really give us too. Never watched it. Well, then you came to the right place because I'll fill you in on all the haps. So I really didn't think they'd put too much in tonight's show just because of Monday Night Football. But I was wrong. It wasn't a fantastic episode, but they really furthered some things here tonight. We saw some things. I really enjoyed tonight's show. It didn't drag. And story. There was story that was driving the whole thing. I think the holidays was great, man. Thank you for asking. I hope your holidays was good as well. Got to see some snow, and that's always a good thing. It was really, really, really fun. And Courtney's here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So, first up on the thing, the first segment and match was probably the highlight. The main event was really good, but I think the highlight was the beginning because it really started some. Didn't start anything, but it kept things in motion. I'll put it that way. Usos and Solo came out. No Sammy. There's something there. And oh, look at that. We got Nick in the chat. What up, Nick? I ain't seen Nick in a good minute, man. What up, man? I hope you had some good holidays. I saw you had some travel troubles, but I hope you figured it out, bud. So they came out, no Sammy, which is very interesting. We'll get to more of that in a little bit. And they say next week they got a big celebration next week for Roman Reigns on the Raw 30 for the Raw 30 show, in which all members of the bloodline will be in attendance to celebrate. I wonder who that could be. I'll just leave it at that and we'll move on from there. But it's very interesting timing to do something of that nature. And we got a lot of old wrestlers coming in next week. Could it be? I did the wrong. There you go. You know what it is. You know what I'm talking about. So we talk. Who's all the? Because I have a feeling you're going to see Sika and Alpha. I think that's their names. I didn't watch when they were things, so I don't know. I think you're going to see Rikishi. I think you're going to pretty much everyone part of the Samoan bloodline, I think, that is still alive will be there next week to celebrate. That's what I think. Not Jacob Fatu. No, not Jacob Fatu. Not Jacob Fatu. But after that, Judgment Day comes out because they are the number one contenders for them Raw tag titles. That's right. Not both, the Raw tag titles. So they're now defending them separately. Interesting to note. And Judgment Day comes out. Dom does some more his shtick. It's still fun. Not as funny as his last week, but it still works. Damian Priest steps up. He goes, I think it's interesting. You guys come here every week and you attack everybody, but you don't ever try the Judgment Day. Yeah, you don't. You don't. You're scared of old Damian Priest. That's what the Usos are. But back to the show. Dom then says, you guys are so fake. So fake. So fake, and nobody's faker than that wannabe back there, Solo Sikoa. So he's calling out Solo Sikoa. Dude's getting some big old, he's got some mid-sized balls doing some stuff like that. So Solo steps up. Rhea steps up. Dom sucker punches down Solo. Brawl ensues. As the mayhem's going on, at the end, Mustafa Ali ends up attacking Solo from behind because they have a match later up. And that's how they transition into the first match tonight. So they gave us a story. They gave us a preview of what's next week. And then they went right into the match. And it all went together so seamlessly. That's what I call beautiful work. Dom holding And yes, so to this, I will say, A lot of people are like, the way the Usos lose next week. Well, here's the thing. If they were defending both titles, I would agree 100%. But if they're only defending one of them, and things with the bloodline are starting to get a little bit chippy, the Usos are going to have to lose to a team that is kind of as hot, not as hot, nothing's as hot as the bloodline, but something that's a hot act that could benefit from beating the Usos. The Judgment Day checks every one of those boxes right there. So I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm saying don't be surprised next week if some kind of nonsense happens, and probably Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens came out during no, he didn't come out during this, he came out during the match. But anyway, Kevin Owens having something to do with next week with the Usos losing the titles to the Judgment Day. That's what I think might be happening, and I'm all for it. They're definitely going to hold gold. Yes. Next week, I really think it's happening. But so we go into Solo versus Mustafa Ali. It's a match. It's nothing crazy. Just it's a match. During the match, Usos showed up. Kevin Owens showed up. He starts taking them out. And then that causes distraction. Mustafa Ali sneaks in a move. You're like, oh no, is he going to pull off the upset? No. Solo kicks out, gets up, spikes him. 1, 2, 3, he wins. But before the man can even get up and put his hands up, Kevin Owens is there, spins him around, stunner, starts attacking him. Usos come up, they break him apart. That's a segment. So all around good stuff. The Judgment, yeah. I didn't know that Judgment Day was taking them on next week. I think that's a little soon, but we will see. We will see. From there, we go to a Bobby Lashley backstage promo, in which he basically just starts talking about the 6-man elimination match that they're having tonight for number 1 contendership of Austin Theory's title. That match consists of Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, The Miz, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, and Bobby Lashley, all former champions of the United States title. So that's a nice little thing they're doing. Again, building up these mid-card titles. They're not even building up at this point. They both are very important. But to keep the consistencies going, I like it. That's the main event for the night. Looking forward to it. Yep. That'll be Solo's first loss. 100%. That'll be Solo's first loss. Then after the Bobby Lashley promo, after he's talking about the match, he's the Cody promo. He comes back and he's showing his journey back, and then he announces that he will be back at the Royal Rumble because the goal he had when he came here has not changed. Title belt motion right here, and he announces himself to be at the Royal Rumble. Now, here's what I think is funny: is you got a bunch of people on there going, "Boo hoo 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 hoo! You ruined the surprise for the Royal Rumble." There isn't a soul on this planet that watches WWE. That doesn't even have to watch WWE. David don't watch WWE, and I guarantee even he knew Cody Rhodes was going to be back at the Royal Rumble. No, there was nothing spoiled tonight. WWE said, you know what? They know it's happening. Let's just bank on that, and we'll just do a slow build up to the thing. That way people remember, okay, Cody, yeah, that's where he was. He got injured. What's he going to do when he comes back? Oh, he wins the Royal Rumble. It makes sense. He's literally picking up where he left off. Nothing was spoiled. So stop it. Stop it all. A guy in the hut. Exactly. The amount of people I see bitching about this is insane to me. Like, it's just crazy to me. And then dirt sheets literally spoil things all the time. Well, WWE said, well, it's not going to happen. They eliminated 2 birds with 1 stone. The fans knew it was coming, and they weren't going to let the dirt sheets be like, you know what, we're going to jump ahead of it and say that it's happening. Nope. It was a great call to do what they did with Cody Rhodes. Now we're all excited. Maybe he tunes in next week, and it gets a few extra people to tune in. Like, oh man, with Cody is a good tactic. It's a good move, and we literally just got a surprise return last week. Last year, not last week, my bad, when he debuted at the Rumble. That was a surprise. And even then, we all knew it was happening. So no need to go to the well twice within a year. That's stupid, people. Stop your bitching. Stop it, please. Please, please, please stop it. what was the star? So it was the whole Bloodline, Usos, Kevin Owens, Mustafa Ali stuff that I just went through. But that was the start of the show. So you ain't missed nothing yet. If you saw me talking about that, you didn't miss nothing yet. After that, though, we go to Elias. He's going to Adam Pearce's office, probably like, hey, I want to be in the Royal Rumble. MVP comes out and says, no need. I just got the man who's going to win it in it. So there's no need for you to do it. And then Elias is like, well, I don't like that. And they maybe I'll fight you. And MVP is like, nah, man. But I'll get you a match. You just screwed yourself over. So he goes back into the office, and Elias is just like, oh, what's happening? Like an idiot. So next up, we get the Street Profits versus Cedric and Shelton. About halfway through the match, MVP shows up. He tries to help Cedric at one point. He misses the mark though, and the ending was just botched. It was sloppy. It was sloppy. Which had the match been great, it would have been sad. But the match was just, it was nothing special. It was decent. It's a Street Profits carrying most of it, honestly. If I'm being 100% honest. And the tag team move that Shelton and Cedric hit though was pretty cool. He had him up for a back suplex, but then threw him forward, and Cedric hit him with a flying. Very, very cool, very innovative. I liked it, but they lost. Botches do happen, 100%. But this was like 3 in a row, and it was the end of the match. So it was very, very sloppy. They're saying The Rock wins. Whoever's saying that is lying to you. The Rock is not in the Rumble. The Rock might be at the Raw 30 next week, though. We shall see. After that, they go to the Judgment Day segment, and then Alpha Academy interrupts, shows up, says, you know what? You guys got lucky last week because Finn Balor should have been medically disqualified, and then we would have been declared the winners of that particular match. They got a good point. Now, what I found interesting here is last week I noticed people were cheering Otis a little bit. It seems like they're playing into being baby faces. And it happens seamlessly. I love it when it happens seamlessly. It's kind of a testament to how great Gable is and how lovable Otis is. I know a lot of people don't like. There's someone in here don't like Otis. Otis is a lovable character, and they did it seamlessly. It worked. It was good. The match was. Oh no! So they have a match later because of the nonsense that happened last week. I'm a little rusty. I'm getting back into it. I'll be good to go next week. Sorry, folk. After that, Becky Lynch comes out. She calls out Bayley, calls her a bunch of names, calls her dumb Karen, all this other stuff. Then Damage Control comes out. They have a little back and forth, and it ends when Becky says, how about you face me next week if you're not scared? And then Bayley's like, okay. He goes, without your little dum-dums by your side. She goes, okay. In a cage, and Bayley's like, okay. And then, no, okay. And she's confident again with her. So we're getting Becky and Bayley in a cage match next week on top of getting Judgment Day and the Usos in a tag title match next week, on top of Roman Reigns and the Bloodline being there with everybody else next week. Raw is stacked next week, and I'm not even done. So that was that segment. It went on a little too long. Becky was a little cold at the beginning, and then she got the crowd behind her towards the end. So she pulled the people back in. I'll give her that. The trifecta. It was stupendous. It really was stupendous. Yes, it is. It is very talented, and I really hope that as a babyface, Chad Gable gets some wins. I don't think he needs gold or anything. He's on the he doesn't need it, but some wins would be nice for Chad Gable. It really would. And Otis, Otis in the ring is nothing special. He's just a character that you look at and you want to get behind. You want to be like, let's go, Otis. That's my guy. He just has that likability about him. He has that it factor to a mid-card champion. Otis could be a mid-card champion for you. Nothing higher. Next up, after that, we go to backstage. There was a lot of like back-to-back backstage segments. I'm not a fan of when they do those, but they did 2 right here within the first hour and a half. Ziggler and Ali segment. Ali came in and was saying, oh, congratulations on your match tonight. And he's still mad that Ziggler cost him and then didn't join him for the tag turmoil. So Ziggler's like, leave me alone. You know I got stuff to do. And then Ali hits him and says, I got your attention now, Ziggler, and walks off. I don't know what they're doing with those two, but they're doing something. It's interesting. This we'll see what the payoff is for it. But it's like, well, I don't know what they're doing with it. But After that, Elias comes out, and then MVP comes out, and he goes, "Oh, you thought you were facing me? No, 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 no. But you are facing the winner of the Rumble." And then out comes Omos, which I think is interesting because last night I was literally like, "Yo, if they're doing Hurt Business, what's with Omos? They're gonna bring Omos back?" And boom, Omos shows up. What are the chances on that? So Omos comes out and destroys Elias, and then they walk back. That's that. I assume that means Omos. Elias isn't in the Royal Rumble. I guess that's it. I would rather them be a team because neither one of them are going to go anywhere right now by themselves. Ziggler is just Ziggler. He's been there forever, and Ali just can't seem to find anything that clicks. Put them together, see what happens. I think they'd have good chemistry. And then they need to have that match. Yeah, they can have it after they break up and someone gets mad and they split up, whatever they want to do with it. But I think they should team up right now. I think that would be beneficial for Ali at this point. And Ziggler will do what he does. That's just what he does. That's why he's been there for so long. They go back to Adam Pearce, and he's sitting there hyping up Raw 30 next week. He's really excited. A lot of things happening. He's just really pumped up for. In comes Akira Tozawa, and he goes, "I want to be in the Rumble." And Adam Pearce is like, "I can't just put anybody in the Rumble." He goes, "I will fight for it." And he goes, "All right, I got you a match. You win it, you're in." And Tozawa is very excited, very happy, leaves. That's the segment. Next up, Judgment Day versus Alpha Academy. Really good match here. Chemistry through the roofs. Damian Priest doing most of the heavy lifting, and I want to just give a special appreciation shout out to Damian Priest for last week during the gauntlet that he went through. He was in the ring for a complete hour. Finn got to tap out, and then Dom came in and did what Dom does. Damian Priest carried that whole thing. So shout out to him. And then he's doing it again right now with Dom again tonight. The match itself was really good. Alpha Academy's babyfaces works. The crowd was behind them. They were getting hot. I thought Chad had it for just a split second, but then I was like, no, Judgment Day can't lose tonight. They're facing the Usos next week. It would have made no sense. So in the end, Dom, through some kind of trickery, ended up rolling up Gable. 1, 2, 3, got the win. And Judgment Day, their next match against the Usos for the Raw tag titles next week. I'm interested to see what they do with it. I really am. Because for the first time since Money in the Bank of last year, I'm like, I think they could lose. It's very rare. They're kind of in that Roman territory now. Where it's like, there's not many people I look at and be like, okay, yeah, this is actually a real possibility they lose. This is a possibility that they lose next week. Through some shenanigans, horseplay, I don't know, something. But there is a real chance they lose next week. Yes, old Punishment Martinez took some punishment last week. He was a straight up G last week. And if the rumors are true, that WWE praised them backstage, good, because old Punishment Martinez, Damian Priest, whatever you want to call him, deserved it after last week. And he deserved it again tonight. He was great tonight again. Very, very underrated dude on Raw right now. I think people forget what he was doing during his first year. He was so good that first year, and he's still doing good shit. Shout out to Damian Priest. I fucks with Damian Priest. Next up, Io Shirai versus Mia Yim. I refuse to call her Michin. Because she comes out, it says Michin, and the thing says Michin, and then they're like Mia Yim. I don't know what the hell they're doing. It doesn't make sense, but is what it is. This one is a decent match. I think they could have gave these ladies a little bit more time, but it is what it is. Mia Yim ended up winning. Candice LeRae was out there with her. Dakota was out with Io. They both got involved somehow, and then Io got caught. Mia Yim wins. Now, it sucks because it's like Io Shirai should not be losing if she's a tag champion. She just shouldn't be losing. But at the same time, Mia Yim has taken enough losses at this point, and if you're going to have her there to be a legit contender, she has to start winning some. So it was like, man, I guess I shouldn't complain because either one of them could have won and should have won, and one of them did, so it is what it is. They saying Roman Reigns will be stripped of the WWE Championship. I don't know if it's true. Could happen. Maybe next week. I think next week is going to be a phenomenal episode. Not just because it's stacked. I think they're really going to have some things, and it's the first Monday night with no football on since football season started. So I think they're really stacking the deck for next week. It's going to be a fantastic show. Don't miss it next week. if you're enjoying what they're, don't miss it next week. But that would be when I think they did this. We shall see, or maybe they'll do it after. Maybe they'll announce something or tease something. They'll do it after the Rumble. Doing it before the Kevin Owens match, I guess, would be kind of silly. So maybe after. Maybe after. It is like her name, but it's still dumb. Like they're saying Michin and they're saying Mia Yim, and then Michin apparently means like crazy. But you can't say like, here's the presentation of her name on the Tron on our nameplates, but we're still gonna call her Mia. Don't do that. Neither one of them looked bad. They just didn't give them enough time. That's all there is to it. I'll flat say it. They didn't give them enough time because those girls could put on a banger of a match. But again, Mia Yim win. It's nice to see Mia Yim get a win. I'll say that. And since there was tomfoolery involved, I can forgive the fact that Io lost, even though Io is a bad mama jamma. Next up, we had Bianca promo in the ring, and she comes out and she talks about how Bliss did this and she's done blah blah blah, doing the Bianca Belair shtick. Out comes Alexa Bliss, and Alexa Bliss starts hinting towards doing the Royal Rumble, and Bianca cuts her off, says, "Hold up, girl. How about you don't waste our time and go through 29 other women so you can face me at WrestleMania? You can face me at Royal Rumble." And Alexa Bliss is like, "What's the catch?" And Bianca Belair says, "You want to control? Now it's your choice." And then Alexa Bliss says, "All right." So just do this real quick. I'll tell you the date, November 28th. When everyone's like, "Who's Bianca facing Royal Rumble?" It'll probably be Rhea Ripley. Your boy said otherwise. Listen to what I said. I swear y'all better start listening to me. I do know what I'm talking about with most of this stuff. I really do. I pay attention. But anyway, enough kissing my own butt and pat my own back. I think so what happened is after that, they got into a brawl. They ended up fighting. They went up into the crowd. Bianca put two chairs together, and she's like, "You know what? I'm going to KOD this woman right through the chairs onto the concrete." But they were right in a walkway. Nice placement of where they were doing this, because there's a walkway that leads out to the concession, but it's Uncle Howdy with the light and all that, and he's standing there, distracts Bianca, allows Alexa to get advantage, DDTs Bianca on the concrete, and then Alexa walks away tall. So we're getting Alexa and Bianca at the Royal Rumble again. Hopefully this match will be better than the last one. The last one was a little bit sloppy, and not sloppy in like a good way. It was just like, so we'll see what happens at Royal Rumble. With Charlotte coming back and winning the title on SmackDown, I think the women's matches at WrestleMania are now completely in the air. I still think the best thing to do is Bianca and Rhea for a title, but I don't know at this point. They threw a monkey wrench into the whole thing. No. Dominic is going to retire that man. Retire that man. Fightful has learned 25-year-old Myron Reed is now a free agent. We're told he was released on 24. Interesting. Myron Reed. Why does that sound familiar? Who's Myron Reed? Fill me in. It sounds familiar, but I'm drawing a blank right now. I'll come back to it. So after all that, we go to Tozawa. He gets his match where if he wins, he's into the Royal Rumble. Unfortunately for Tozawa, he's taking on the big bad Bronson Reed, who comes down and destroys Tozawa in brutal fashion. They making Bronson Reed look like a monster. Good on them. Bronson Reed as a heel is the way to go. As a monster is the way to go. That man can go. I don't want to say the sky's the limit for this man. He is going to be great in a Triple H led WWE. I'll say it that way. Bronson Reed is going to be that damn good in a Triple H led WWE. For Tozawa, the power of Tozawa ran out. Okay, that's okay. Got you. We got Tidy in the chat. Just in time for the Bobby Lashley match, man. Good show though, Tidy. You're gonna be happy with tonight's show. So then go to Seth Rollins. He does a backstage promo on his match for tonight, like Bobby Lashley did earlier. Much more excitement. You hear the crowd. They're ready for Seth has now become that guy where even a bad crowd is going to get up off their feet and join in with Seth Rollins. He's reached that level. Good on him. The promo just basically, we're gonna win. I thought I had moved on, but I got pulled back in, and now I gotta go do my thing and win the United States title. So that's what it is. Next up, we get in about 30 minutes for the main event, which is again Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor versus The Miz versus Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler versus Bobby Lashley in an elimination match to see who will take on Austin Theory next week on Raw 30 for the United States title. Whew. This match, it was a very, very, very fun match. The ending was a little bit kind of crammed, but is what it is. Not enough to give it shit. So Austin Theory come out. He's like, I'm gonna sit at ringside and watch. He's on commentary and he starts talking during the match, just kind of showcasing that the kid got it all. Yes, boy, it was a great main event. So, man, you know, Dolph Ziggler wasn't gonna win. Come on, Dolph wasn't gonna win this. So, I'll just go through the eliminations of the match. Throughout the match, there was some really fun spots, really cool stuff. First one out, Miz had Dolph Ziggler in the figure 4. Dolph reversed it. Dolph almost tapped. I thought he was going to tap for a minute. I was like, this is crazy. Why don't someone just go pin the man? He can't kick out because his legs are tied up. Didn't do it, though. He reverses it. In comes Seth Rollins. Hits Miz with the stomp. 1, 2, 3. Miz is eliminated. Match continues. Then they go on, they do a whole outside spot where Seth hits Bobby, and then Finn comes out and he hits Bobby and Seth, and then Baron Corbin's up and everybody's out, and then Dolph Ziggler jumps off, takes everybody out, goes in, Ziggler starts super kicking everybody, famous strong Bobby. Ziggler was looking legit, like, oh, he about to pin somebody, but then in comes Seth Rollins, kick him in the gut, pedigree, 1, 2, 3. Now Ziggler has been eliminated. He wasn't first. That's a plus, I guess. You might get that eventually, but don't hold your breath. So after that, Seth Rollins has eliminated Miz and Dolph Ziggler. Next up, Omos and MVP came out right when Bobby Lashley was starting to take care of business, and Bobby was distracted, like, what are y'all doing? And MVP's like, just do your thing, man. It was like, oh, is Omos here to continue this Bobby Lashley stuff that should have ended when Bobby beat him? It was looking like Bobby might be in trouble. So after that, Finn, he ends up hitting a coup de grace on Bobby because Bobby's distracted, so they attack him. Coup de grace on Bobby Lashley, but as he's holding his chest because he's still selling them ribs, in comes Seth Rollins with another stomp on Finn. 1, 2, 3. Finn Balor is now gone. Seth Rollins has eliminated a third person in this match. I think you should be able to tell where this is going at this point. So with that, Seth Rollins ends up on the outside. Omos pulls him to the outside, and it's like, what the heck's going on? And then he throws him over the thing. Baron Corbin's on the outside. He looks up and sees Omos. He's like, oh, shit. Hold up. Gotta go. Goes in the ring, but as he goes in the ring, he gets speared by Bobby Lashley. And then 1, 2, 3, Baron Corbin has been eliminated. It's down to Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins. Omos, what's he doing out there? He just attacked Seth, and he didn't attack Baron. He just looked at him, but it's like, what is he doing? So after that, Austin Theory gets up from commentary and smacks Bobby Lashley over the head with the title. But as he does, he looks at Bobby, Omos. He slaps him in the chest. He goes, that's what I'm talking about. As if they're on the same team. And Omos just grabs this little man by the throat and is about to hurt him. He goes to throw him on the table, but Austin Theory lands on his feet, and then he goes to the other side, which pulls Omos down. As that happens, here comes Seth Rollins. Very well done spot because he wouldn't let go of Theory. That pulled him down, and then Seth hit the stomp. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, he's not in the match. What am I talking about? So Omos is now a non-factor, and Theory's like, I did it. But then Seth Rollins attacks him, goes in, and then he goes bounce off the rope because Seth is feeling himself. The crowd is all into it, and then here comes Bobby, spears him. 1, 2, 3. Bobby Lashley pins Seth Rollins and wins the elimination match to take on Austin Theory next week for the United States title. So that's the main event. It was a fun main event. I'll talk about my issue. Hold up. What's this? Rick having a match next week. Maybe Don. You talking about Ric Flair? Bro, put Ric Flair in there with Brock Lesnar. If we're going to do it right, do it. If we're going to do that match, do it big, baby. Ric Flair versus Brock Lesnar. I would pay money to watch that. So there you go. Your boy Bobby won something. There you go. There you go. And it looks like it frees up Seth, which would likely mean Roman just drops. Boom. And which in that case means we're going to get Seth Rollins versus Cody freaking Rhodes at main event of night one of WrestleMania, which I do not want to see. But we will see what happens. I'm not jumping to conclusions. We will see what happens. Now, my issue with Bobby Lashley, the Hurt Business, and Austin Theory is if Bobby Lashley is going back with the Hurt Business and he's taking on Austin Theory next week, the heel is outnumbered here. It doesn't make much sense to me. That doesn't make it. Might be nitpicking, but that just kind of doesn't make sense to me. Maybe he doesn't join Hurt Business and it's just all foil. We'll see what happens with it. But he needs to help Austin with Hurt Business host. Man, I don't want to think about the fact that Austin Theory is going to lose next week. I don't. But Tidy, just to give you a heads up, next week is the Raw 30. And for the show, we have Becky and Bayley in a cage match. We got the Usos versus the Judgment Day for the Raw tag titles. Not both, just the Raw tag titles. And now Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley for the United States title, as well as a bloodline celebration in which all the members of the Samoan bloodline have been invited to show up. If you smell what I'm cooking there, Tidy, just to fill you in on what we missed. If The Rock, here we go. If The Rock can dethrone Roman, The Rock won't dethrone Roman. I'm standing by it that Sami Zayn needs to dethrone Roman. It just makes too much sense. It shouldn't happen. This isn't just my heart talking. This is my brain too. There's no way anybody can watch what's happening with this whole storyline with Sami Zayn and think, you know what? It makes a lot of sense for him to be the one to dethrone Roman. Nobody can deny it. They just can't. So I'm sticking with it. But it'll probably be Cody Rhodes. Yes, exactly. Raw next week, on top of them being a bunch of old timers coming in to celebrate the 30 years of Raw. But besides the fact, a lot of great other things are happening. Can't miss next week. And yes, Becky and Bayley in a steel cage. So that's the show from tonight. Next week's show, I am already excited for. I'm not even thinking about Smack. I'm literally excited for next week's show. And on top of that, it's the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. I am so excited for this. So, with that, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you joining the show. I'm back. Sorry for I was a little bit off, a little bit. I will get back to the norm. I will do it. For anybody that didn't watch the Positively Awesome Wrestling podcast, I got gifts and prizes for people. All you gotta do is hit me up at Jimmy Bay on the Twitter. You want to support the Drip King? Let me know. I'll send them to you. 3, 4, 5, 6, all of them. I got a big old box. I'll send them to you so you can go do some tagging, do some supporting of the Drip King. Just let me know and I'll hook you up. That's that. So with that, thank you for joining me, and I will see you all on Sunday night. Me and Tidy will be back with Positively Awesome Wrestling Podcast. I don't know the topic yet. I will have it soon, and I'll let it be known. But after that, if you don't join us for that, I will be back here next week, same time, same place, for the Raw recap of what I fully expect to be a fantastic episode. So until then, I will see you all, and enjoy the rest of the week. AEW Dynamite. Make sure you don't miss it because that shit's raw as hell too right now.